Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff for beating the game. For first time viewers, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It shows just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. And today we're playing Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. The footage will be from the PS1 version, but this walkthrough should work for either the original or the remake. Before we get stuck into it, if you like this video, consider subscribing to keep up to date. It helps out the channel a whole bunch, and there should be a new walkthrough out each week. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have any other games you'd like me to cover. So this walkthrough will take you through getting 100% of everything. So by the end of the game, your gem count should look like this, 10,000 and then 64 orbs and also all the talisman. There's also one extra little secret thing in this game called skill points, and I will be showing you how to get all the skill points as well. So you can see here, this is what it'll look like when you get all the skill points, and it also unlocks this epilogue thing at the end. So I'll show you where they all are. They're pretty easy to miss sometimes because they're not like counted in the totals on the pause screen. So when you're ready, we'll make a start and launch straight into the game. You'll get a big long cutscene and then get sped out with control of Spyro. You've got your same core controls as Spyro 1, so you've got jump on the X button, and you've also got a charge and a flame attack on square and circle. Charge is really good for moving fast, and flame is really good for destroying enemies. And you'll find various jars, so for example metal jars you couldn't flame but you could charge. So there's lots of little things like that. I'll be showing you where all the gems are here, so I'm just going to speed it up. But basically just run around this area grabbing absolutely all the gems that you can, and try and keep your counts consistent with mine to make sure you're not missing any. Any jars you do need to charge or flame. And there's some jars right behind that starting area that are pretty easy to miss. Now, Spyro 2 does have some backtracking. We will be unlocking some more moves as we go through the game, so you can't necessarily 100% each level as you go. For example, we don't actually know how to climb the ladders yet, so we're just going to leave that ladder for now. We've got to talk to Moneybags here, who will require some gems to activate the bridge, and then we'll make it across. And we can do a little glide across there, just a little charge before that. If you can't get that glide for whatever reason, we can come back to this level when we have some more moves activated. But I just decided to get those gems then. Into this new area, you got to chase these guys. So with the guys that are running away from you, just chase them and then flame them at the end of your chase. You got to fly around and flame all these. And for that we get an orb. Keep working your way around. Anytime you see that little sparkly thing, that's just going to allow you to gain some height and then fly around. And we got fly again just here. And you can actually fly through this little bit to skip having to climb. So that is an option for you there. And then we can unlock flight all the way through here. Just saves a little bit of backtracking throughout the game. But he'll give us an orb there. And you want to flame all the things on the roof as well. And then just go through into this bit. Alright, so he'll give us like a shooting challenge. You just got to go into first person mode there and then fire at the enemies. That's just on the triangle button there to get into first person. And then just pretty much follow what I'm doing. Should have 3 out of 6 at this point and just keep following him around. Couple of jars there that I missed, and we'll keep going. So we got 3 out of 3 orbs, which is really good. And we can just head back this way. I missed a jar behind there. So we've actually managed to 100% that level as well. Normally you would need climb, but by sort of using that fly area and flying back, we did manage to 100% it without all the moves. If you didn't get that for whatever reason, you can just come back into that level later once you know climb, and it's fairly easy to 100%. Alright, you'll have a cutscene, and then we get into sort of the hub world area. So we're just going to go around getting all the gems that we can. Also, we don't know how to swim underwater yet, so that's going to cut us off from some progression and cause us to do a bit of backtracking. Alright, just going up here, we got to glide across. So with your glides in this game, try not to glide too early or too late. You got to get sort of the perfect height, and then triangle at the end of your glide will allow you some more height right at that end. Okay, so 455 I've got at the moment, and we can just head into this area. We can't get all the gems in the hub world just because we don't know swim yet. Alright, into the level, we just talked to the person right at the start. And we're just going to go around grabbing gems from the starting area. Alright, these guys will raise and lower the platforms when you talk to them. So it's going to be really useful for making it up the top of this room. And just keep going around, getting more and more jars. And as I mentioned before, any of those metal jars you just have to charge rather than flame. Enemies can have stuff inside them as well, so make sure you're taking care of enemies when you can, just so you don't miss any gems or anything. So we get the Talisman from this area. And we're just going to go out the window here, get some more gems. Okay, we got a little mini game here. We've essentially just got to play hockey there. And keep knocking it into the goal, and just wait for the timer to run out. Okay, we've got another game here to play. Anyway, once you've done that, you'll win the orb. And we're just going to head through here to this statue. Now, those big silver jars you can't break yet. Usually there's another way to break them. It sort of depends on the context of the level, but you can't just run into them and get the gems out. Okay, so he's just started us off on a little mission to flame the statues. So we have been past many of these statues already. We're just going to have to go back to some of the ones we've already seen and flame them. So just down there's another one. Around there. Got these two. And we get the springy power up. There's another one in the cave here. Another one there. And there's our last one. So we get an orb there, that's 3 out of 3. And the whole level's complete. So you'll get a little level complete message just to know you got 100%, or you can check it from the pause menu. But so far, any levels that we've been into, we should be able to complete 100%. Now we can actually learn how to swim as well, which is going to be really useful for 100%ing other bits of the game. So we can go and get the gems under the water here. And head through to this lake. That was near the start of this area, and there's a little tunnel underneath here to go through. So we just go through that tunnel and come out. There's another orb there to grab, and we can just head into this level. So 400 gems I've got. Okay, so talk to the person at the start of the level and just go around and get the gems here and under the water. Alright, and we have a little puzzle here. So this is one of those puzzles where like you press one switch and the other two colors next to it change. So you just got to follow the same pattern I did there. And with this one here, we just have to hit fish into its mouth. So keep doing that and we'll eventually get 10 out of 10. Make sure you're killing enemies just in case, always good too. And metal shields you're going to have to charge through rather than flame, so just be conscious of that. This guy will come and unlock the door for us. Let's clean out all the gems from this cave. And there we go. Alright, we've got this little puzzle here. So just hit the buttons in the order that I'm hitting them there. Now we're going to head back out. Alright, so we get the talisman there. Now we can just go up on the high up bits here and just get some more gems. And hit that rocket. So it's sort of what I was talking about before when you have big containers like that. Sometimes you have to use like a rocket to break them open. There's another gem on the end there just from that container. Alright, so down in this little area, we've got like a little running challenge there. So just take care of that and we get this cutscene and an orb. This area is pretty easy to miss because you sort of have to go up onto the high bit and then drop down. And I was just missing some gems in the water there, so now we've 100%ed the level. You should be able to get 100% of this one. Alright, coming back to the hub world. Just going to swim under the water here and go and get some gems around the edge of this section. There's a button to hit there to open the doors. And that gets us to this inside area. Alright, so we have a little cutscene at the start. And we'll talk to this guy and then just keep getting gems near the starting section. You want to take care of the enemies there in front of the gates and any of those fan things you want to destroy as well. Alright, put in the things to the gates and it'll get rid of the electric barriers. Same thing here, you just deposit it into the gates. Alright, talk to this guy for the talisman. Now we're still going to work our way back. Now, by dashing into that wall with the power up, we can hit those buttons. And we can also dash into that big metal container and another button there. So that's how you open the container in this level. There's also another wall there to dash into. We go quite far with the dash before we manage to hit the wall there. But now we can get up onto these fans and sort of ride the platforms as well. So you get another orb for getting up here. So remember, you can press triangle to hover at the end of your glide. That'll help you make the distances here. And just jumping across this bit. So we can hit that button there to turn that thing off and we'll get another orb for doing so. Then we can just glide around. Alright, that should be all the gems. Now we talk to this guy who wants us to go around here. And basically just get these orbs and chuck them in those bits. You just spit them out onto it. So if you got all the orbs on there, the thing should light up as well. There we go, that should be 10 out of 10 of those guys defeated, and then we can just put the rest of the orbs on. There we go. And we get a cutscene when we've done that, correct. And there we go, that's the whole level complete. Okay, back into the hub, we can just basically go into the Sunny Beach level, literally like straight across from the level we were just in. Okay, so start that out after the cutscene, just work your way in. There's this like turtle thing as well that's sort of going throughout the level. Yeah, a little tunnel there to swim through. And then some gems up here. Here's the turtle again. And you sort of got to knock it so that it keeps walking forward. Very important that you do that. Talk to this guy at the end. There's a little tunnel to swim through there. And some more gems under the water in this section. So there's the turtle again there. So knock him up the platform, and then that should open up this bit. We get the talisman from this. Okay, so we get a little power up there. We can actually break a lot of these turtle crates using the power up as well. So you can glide across here. This would skip needing climb for that bit. You're supposed to have climb, but you can make that glide fairly easily. It's not too bad. Alright, and there's that last box there to break. Okay, now you might notice that we didn't actually get 100% there. So you're sort of just after this kind of total, so 390 out of 400, and then with the orbs you should have 14 so far. That's just a matter of not having all the moves that we would need to get 100% of the gems. Alright, so back into here, we're just going to get some gems around the hub world now. Alright, keep going through here. This is our first speedway level. So with the speedway levels here, you've got this sort of time trial thing. You've got to get 4 lots of 10 of each thing. Do get them in the order that I'm getting them. Big thing is, like, if you got cars or something, you want to go against the way the cars are traveling, because otherwise you're spending a bunch of time catching up to the cars, whereas if they're coming at you, it's going to be a lot quicker. So that's how I went through the time trial there. And that's pretty much all you got to do there. So those windows have some gems in it. We want to pay money bags here to open up this level. Let's get a few more gems around the hub area. 1750 is what we should have so far. Got a little cutscene at the start, and then we'll get into the level. Alright, so we can start filling up this level with some water. And keep filling it up more and more. Alright, we talk to money bags here. And we sort of get this shark thing. That was really just a big cutscene, so any of those gems that we went past, we can't really go back and get those. Alright, we talk to this guy here and get the talisman. And we can go through there with the fire upgrade. With that, we can actually take care of the sharks there, and also that big container with gems. And we can also go into that tunnel that we just went past before in the cutscene and deal with the sharks there as well. Fire upgrade makes all that possible. I'm going to grab the fire again here and go through the shark area and break that big container that we can't normally break. And swimming up the top, we get to this really big wide open area. So we're going to talk to this guy and go up through here. And the buildings will sort of open in order. Just going through getting some more gems. Alright, we want to talk to him as well, and there's like rings to swim through with this activity. And we get an orb for doing that. Again, we got to do it one more time. And there we are. Alright, continuing on, we just go into this building here and get the fish. And number 3 opens. So just down here, there's another one to grab, and we got number 4. Number 4 is just off to the side here. Swim through the tunnel here, and we go towards number 5. And then through this tunnel. There's number 6. And there we go. So we got another orb there. Swing up the top here, we got some more gems to get. And there we go. Now it showed very quickly on the screen, but that is the whole level complete, so you should be able to 100% this one. Alright, back into the hub world. Okay, so we get this cutscene here, there's still some gems to grab, and we're going to fall down the hole there into like a boss fight sort of area. Alright, so we get into a little boss fight here, you just jump over his shockwaves and flame him whenever you can get close enough. There we go, and that should be the whole fight. Alright, this unlocks a new hub world here. So Moneybags is up there, willing to teach us a new move. Just get through this cutscene, and then we load into the hub world ourselves. Alright, so immediately just go around and find a few gems. Go here to Moneybags, who will teach us to climb. And we want to jump onto that. So back into Summer Forest here. Now that we actually know how to climb, there's a few more things we can do. So it's going to jump back through these doors with the switches, climb up this section here. And we get an orb up there and a couple of gems to grab. Open this bit, and that'll be all the gems from the hub world, so 400. And we're going to go back into this level that had the turtle in it before. So keep getting the turtles over onto the switches and stuff, work your way through to this bit, and we're just going to climb up this section. And we're over here. Basically this little mini game, you got to keep the turtles away, so just keep doing that until you get to the end of it, and we'll get an orb for doing that. And then we can go and do the same thing again, and we get another orb. Alright, just go into the water here, and that's all the gems, and that should be that level 100%ed. Okay, with that, we're just going to head over here. And Summer Forest is complete now. So that's everything we need to do. So we're into like a speedway here. So we're going to go through here, follow Hunter. So there he goes. And with that orb as well, we're done with that level. So just heading back into that portal, and that brings us into Autumn Plains, that sort of new hub world that we had before. Okay, so we'll just go through. So just hit the enemies and light the flames there. I'm going to go up that little bit. And we can get onto this cannon and take care of the enemies there. Make sure you hit that silver jar of gems as well. Grab any of the underwater gems there. And back onto the cannon again. So we're trying to hit those little spiky things. So I got 3 out of 8 now. Alright, so there's a little jar to break there with that cannon. And we can ride the boat across. Another cannon there and some more spiky things. So I have 7 out of 8 now. And you can hit that target bit just to fly across. And flame those bits. We go through, we get a little springy thing. And we're going to have to collect 50 cogs just on this little bit here. So you can hit the target sign to make it go back or forth, depending which way you want to go. But just try and take all the different paths and you should be able to get all the cogs by doing that. There we go. So you get an orb for doing that bit. Then we're just going to go around here, hit that target thing again and flame the other side of the ship. And now that we've got that, we got the talisman and a couple more gems. And a few gems down there. That's 400. I'm also going to just go up here and try and hit the last spiky guy, and that should give us another orb, and then that's level 100% complete. Alright, back into the hub world now. So just going to go across and straight into this level here. Little cutscene right at the start. Turn around immediately. You've also got to flame all the cacti in this level. It can be pretty easy to miss it. They don't really look like something you'd need to deal with. But yeah, keep flaming any cactus that you see. Alright, go through to the village there. You want to destroy the red guys. And that gets us an orb. Gonna do it again. There we go. And it's another orb for us. Alright, you want to go into first person and hit the guy at the top there. That guy's pretty easy to miss. Don't forget to flame every cactus that you see. Our second bone there. And we want to shoot through the web there with our first person mode just on triangle. And we get another bone there. And we get sort of a flame resistant ability there, so we can go across the lava. Get some jars. And we get another bone there. There's another cactus to hit. And we want to talk to this guy. We get a talisman for getting to this point. And you can hit the jar and sort of, that'll move the jar around to various spots in the map. So just follow where I'm going. It should follow a preset path. And that has some gems in it for us. We get the flame resistant thing and go through here for another bone. And flame resistant again, just coming up to this bit. Alright, so shoot that guy for a bone again. Should have 6 bones now, and 7. And we get flame resistant again, a couple of gems on the lava. And a couple of gems up here, so it should be all 400 now. And then there's the last bone just up in that section there. So that should be the whole level complete. We also get this lovely bone dance. Alright, back into the hub world, just duck in under the water and get some gems. We'll now unlock an updraft there, and we've got a speedway. So speedway, very similar thing to before. You've got 4 sets of 10. Try and get them in the same pattern that I am, because we know that can beat the time trial. Depending which order you get them in, it may be very easy or may be very hard. I'm going to go through the gates here. Also, something that I found, I'm not sure how much of an effect this is, but I always find flying lower, you tend to go faster than flying higher. Start the time trial again, but you got to go and find this guy. And then that unlocks us another challenge there. And there we go. So we get an orb for doing that. And then we can just exit out from the level. That should be everything. I'm going to go over here to money bags, pay him some gems. And we go into this level here. Okay, so after the cutscene plays out, just start out the level, some gems to grab around the starting area. Get these birds as well. And make sure you hit the big metal container with the cannon while you're doing that. Alright, onto the cannon again. Just through the doorways, we can sort of open those up. Now we can hit the balloon out of the sky there and open up another doorway. Watch out for these guys throwing the barrels. There we go, some more birds to hit, and also the big door there. Alright, if we go through to where that building was, you can just talk to this guy, and we get the talisman. And just take care of the rest of the birds up there and then drop down for some more gems. You can lure this guy across into the pen, and we will get an orb for getting all 5 in the pen, so just gradually flame them until they go up to where we want them. Alright, so hit the birds out of the sky with the super flame power up. And super flame will make them go a little bit higher than usual, so that's how you can actually lure them out of this pit. And that's also going to be one of those jars that will follow around the map. There we go. Now that we've got that, you can just lure them into the pen as per normal, and we'll get an orb for that. There's also 2 cows to get, which we deal with in a sec. And the jar sort of just works back towards the side of the level there. Alright, there's another gem that I missed in the little pit there. Alright, so talk to this guy and he'll have a seed there for us. This is one of the cow things that we were talking about before. Got to lure it all the way back to the pen. And there's the other one. And there we go, so we should get an orb from that. Just heading back, we can go over here, get a gem, and pick up that seed thing, plant it there, and we can go over here and get another one, plant it there. This one here, plant down there, and that'll get that platform up. And there's another one to get across there. You talk to him again, he'll give us an orb. Seed to plant there. A couple gems to grab on the way, and we'll plant another seed there and jump up on top. So we get another orb for making it to the end of this bit. And we'll just go through here and climb up that bit, and there's another gem up there, and then that's the whole level done. Alright, back into the hub world. Just going to get some gems around this area here. And into this next level. Okay, so we'll start out. You can flame these ices to melt them, and then you get sea sword over the other side. So any of those jars that have fireworks on the side, you want to flame those. And those guys will make a staircase for you to get out. Make sure you get the gems around the back of these buildings here as well. These ones are particularly easy to miss. Talk to Moneybags here and you'll pay $200 to activate that bridge there. Alright, we got these guys pushing the snowball down now. And we'll get the Talisman for this area. Alright, so just down here and we get a little power up. Some will let us fly. If we just do like a normal glide, you can keep flying out of it. And you want to take care of all the enemies. And we'll get an orb for doing that. Get the fly power up again and fly back up. And you talk to this guy. And we can pretty much lure that guy over here. Let him get the fish. And we should have all the gems at this point. And eventually lure him back to this guy and we'll get an orb for doing that. And that should be 100% for the level. Alright, coming back to the hub world here, a couple more gems to grab. And we just climb up this ladder. Got another ladder to climb up here. Just turn around here and we can sort of get onto the roof by gliding and pressing triangle at the end of that. There's an orb to grab there. Couple gems to grab in here. And we've got another level to go into. Okay, so cutscene plays out and we'll just start out the level. Alright, hit the button and that'll put the flag up. Same thing here, put that flag up. Alrighty, so we got a little game here. You've just got to go to the trees with the monkeys and knock them out of the trees for him. There we go. And that's all of them. A couple of gems to grab around this area. And we'll just dip into this little bit here for some more. Alright, next we just got to raise that flag there. And work our way through. These guys you can just flame. And then we get the Talisman for getting to the end there. A couple more gems to grab around here. So he's got a secret mission there, so we got a flame power up here. Now bring this flame power up all the way back and hit that jar. That'll give us some more gems. And then go up again for the flame power up. Want to ride this thing here and bring your flame power up over here. Just over the top there, we want to shoot at sort of the flagpole thing with the flame power up. Get it again here. And then talk to this guy. Alright, same sort of thing. You want to knock him off the flagpole and then chase him back up. And then same thing again here. So just up on the top of that one there, and then chase him back. And there we go. So you should get an orb for finishing that off, and that's the level complete. Alright, back to the hub world now. So you set down here, and we've got another level to go into. Okay, so these statues we pretty much just got to charge. Get the jars from inside there. Flame the trees as well when you come across them. All those trees will have like gems and stuff inside. You want to knock these guys into the lava when you can, and that's how you deal with them. Alright, keep flaming the trees and charging the statues here. And we've got this little power up here, so we can just go on this track essentially and charge down that door right at the end. So get an orb for doing that. And there we go. So that should be all 6 now that we've done that. Now that we've done that, we can sort of go in here and get the talisman, and we'll head back out. Glide over to this bit, you can knock that guy off the edge if you want. And you can go into the lava now. Got some purple gems to grab in here, and we got this area. I'm going to talk to this guy and pretty much just protect him as he goes through. So knocking everything else out of the way. And there we are. So we get an orb for this. Alright, so just going around this area, grabbing some more gems. And up onto that slope there. Alright, with the charge up, we can go through the door there. And we get all 400 gems. I will point out that even though we got all 400 gems, we can't get the third orb. So just be aware this level won't be 100%ed. Alright, back to the hub world. You want to just go through this door. And into this level here. Alright, so start out just getting the gems around the start. I'm going to go down onto this little path near the lava. And just grab a few gems there. Alright, climb up these ladder bits here. And there's a lot more gems to grab on this level. Again, climb up the ladders and we'll head the other way this time. Go knock that guy into the path of the bull thing. And then we got some gems to grab in the middle and we'll drop down. Okay, so we get a little challenge here. So you basically just got to go and grab more of these. And we get an orb for that. And then we try it again. So go to grab 15 this time. And we get another orb for that. And we'll head back out. This guy, hit him onto the X. And we just go through here. Couple more gems to grab this time. Hit this guy onto the X. Alright, we'll talk to Moneybags here. And we can jump on that to head down. Couple gems to grab around it. And just watch for the falling rocks. There we go, we get up to the top and stop the volcano. And we get a talisman for doing that. We're just going to head back now. Now he'll want us to take care of these guys. So just grab the fly power up and through there. So that should be all the gems now. And we'll just go off and get the rest of these 12. And there we go, we should get an orb for that. And that's the level fully complete. Alright, back into the hub world. Talk to Moneybags here. We'll open up a bridge to get across. And just get the gems in there. Then we can go on to the level. Alright, so a little cutscene here. And those guys will run away from you. Best way to catch them is to like charge at them, then flame them right at the end. Knock the tree to get that out for him. Grab the gems around the start, and we'll head through. Knock the tree there again. And head through. Alright, just keep following into the next section. And we can shoot at the tree there. And now we're at the end, so we can get the talisman. Just grab the gems around this bit, and there's also a jar to hit. So he wants us to catch the thieves now. So as I said before, you basically just want to charge at them and then flame them right at the end. There we go, there's one. And we'll hit that jar while we're doing this as well. Alright, I got this little power up for a little bit. Just going to go and get the jar. And again. And there we go, there's all the gems from it. Alright, there's the last guy we got to catch. And we got the orb. Now, we'll note we can't 100% this one yet. So you can see I've only got 1 out of 2 orbs and 380 out of 400 gems. Okay, back to the hub world. And we get this little cutscene at the door here. We just drop straight in there. And we're going to have like another boss fight sort of thing. So we'll drop into this with a cutscene. Just charge at him now. Let him charge towards the edge there. And as the barrels drop, just hit the barrels towards him. If the bomb drops, hit the bomb towards him, and so on and so forth. Most of those eggs have pretty good things in there for attacking him. There we go, that's the boss fight done. Okay, this loads us into a new hub world. It's the winter one. So there's like a season theme going on. But essentially, just load into here, you'll get a cutscene, and then we'll gain control. This is the last hub world. So we talk to Moneybags here and learn Head Bash. That's what's been stopping us from getting some of the gems in the previous levels. So we're just going to go back here, climb the ladder. And there's lots of goodies to get here now that we got Head Bash. So grab that gem that I obviously missed before there. There's a couple more gems here to grab. There's a wall there that you can just charge through, and we get onto the roof with that. Alright, take the updraft there. And we can sort of glide across here. Pay Moneybags and we'll just head into the speedway. So this one here, just take care of everything in the order that I'm doing it in. And dashing is usually faster than gliding if you can do it as well. Gliding low seems to be faster as well than gliding higher. There we go. Now we're going to do this again and go into the igloo, and there will be Hunter there. So just go through all the rings as they come up. There we go. Now we get the orb as well. Okay, so with that, we're just going to head back to the hub world now. Glide across there with the updraft. We're just going to go back into this level we were in before. Alright, so just talk to this guy and he'll go through the gate. Now that we've got the head bash, we can actually go to this thing and head bash it. So that's all the gems. And we're going to go through and just gradually open up all these gates again. Alright, so go all the way back here. And we'll talk to this guy. So he wants us to head bash all these things coming out. And there we go. So we get an orb for doing that. And that should actually be 100% of this level now. Alright, come back through here. We want to go into this level. Alright, similarly, we just got to clean up 100% with head bash. So talk to the alchemist again. And you can sort of knock these guys out of the way so they don't harass him. There we go. And we sort of get that same orb again, but then we get to go through this bit, and as he hits them across, we can head bash them. So there we go. And that's that level completed. Alright, just heading back here. I'm going to glide off to the left all the way out to this pillar, and that should have an orb in there. And now that's actually this whole hub world completed, so we can just head on those warps and go back to the winter area. Okay, so ground pound that rock there. Go through, grab all the gems on the ice, and we open up this portal. Okay, into this level, talk to this guy at the start. And those platforms will come up. So just heading across now. Right up onto the second floor. And we can glide across now to get more gems. Alright, that door will break down as well. Okay, so you sort of got to follow him here, try not to get spotted. Alright, he gives you an orb for that. Alright, next door will break down. So we go over here, get those gems off the pillars there. And there's some more gems behind this building here. Alright, talk to this wizard guy to get another orb. And glide back across. We've got a little power up here. Okay, so we can freeze those guys to make platforms as they're like jumping higher up. Make sure you freeze them at the right height, and we're going to ring the bell there. Again, freeze these guys to make another platform. We ring another bell, and then we get another bell here. There we go, we get an orb for that. And fly back up here, grab some gems around there. Over here, we want to hit that rocket. You gotta wait till your freeze runs out, of course. And that rocket opens up those gems, and that should be the whole level completed. From this point, we'll be able to complete all the levels just first try, because we got all the moves now. Back into Winter Tundra. Get a few gems around the corner there. And we're going to ground pound any rocks we see on the ground. There's an orb in one of them, for example. And we're into Mystic Marsh. We'll get through this little intro cutscene and talk to the guy at the start. A couple of gems to grab around here. Any monkeys you see in trees, just hit them out. Just like flame them to get them out, essentially. Alright, in the water we got some gems as well, so just all around down the bottom. There's a little duck in the water there as well. Alright, so you want to get those jars, keep going around. Okay, so we get the egg there. Make sure not to like flame anything while you're holding the egg as well. Alright, so keep bringing the egg through this section, through the tunnel and everything. And we can trade in the egg. Well, we can get the orb here. We'll trade in the egg in a second. So we can put the egg up there. And then we get a new item to get. So we're just going to bring this new item back. Chuck the new item in there and we get the duck. So a couple gems to grab over here. Activate this guy, that'll be like another thing for us to do. When we go down here, these are the ducks that I pointed out before, so that's the next bit of the trading quest, so they'll spit out a new item for us. Chuck that item into this bit here, and we get the coin. So head back through this tunnel here. There's another one of these guys. They can be a bit tricky to catch since our mouth is full. So you can wait till you've done the whole trading quest if you want. Drop the coin in the fountain. And the fountain drops out this new item. And that's his pencil, so we get an orb for doing that. Now we can go and catch the other thieves. So that should be 3 out of 4 now. Now the thieves run all around the map, so they may be in different spots for you than they are for me. But just keep going around, you'll eventually find them. There we go. And that's the whole level complete. Right, back to Hub World. We go through here, ground pound any rocks you see and that target thing. Drop down these stairs here, and there's some more gems to grab down the bottom as well as a cave. Talk to Moneybags here, he'll open up this level for us. It's a speedway level, so get these goat things first. Then we get the rings. Go against the grain with the traffic, so get the cars. And then go through this tunnel again, and we got some birds to get. And we should be able to get all those. And then we'll go through again to get our secret orb. So up to where the birds were and just off to the left, we've got this. And then we've got 25 of these things to get. And we get the orb there, and that should be that level completely finished. Alright, so back out into the hub world here. It's going to go through and up this little updraft thing. Into this level. Okay, so we get a cutscene at the start. Alright, so first person mode to get all those flying creatures. And that's just on your triangle once you've picked up an object to spit out. Alright, hit all the jars around, and then we just go up here. Yeah, keep progressing up. You want to hit these flying creatures whenever you come across them. Alright, we get an orb for doing that statue puzzle there. For any of those beetles, you just want to knock them over and then ground pound them. Gonna keep going around grabbing some more jars and stuff. And this is actually an elevator, so that'll bring us up. And we got to hit that rocket thing, get all the gems from this bit. Alright, talk to this guy, and he'll give us the orb for finishing off. A couple of gems to grab around this bit, and we got one of those jars. Okay, we talk to this guy and get the little zipper. And he'll give us an orb for doing that, 3 out of 3 now. And we can get some more gems that were along this path. And we got this jar just to follow back through the level now. There we go. And that's the whole level complete. Alright, back to the hub world. We're just going to go through this bit here. Activate the portal, and we'll go through. Alright, so you want to ground pound these elevators to get through. And talk to this guy. And you've got this little mini game to play, just knocking the bombs back at him. There we go. Once we got that orb, we're just going to head back out, ground pound through this to go further down. And ground pound that one to go up. We hit that target here as well. And we're in sort of this open area now. So we get an orb for getting here. And then we got those UFOs to take care of. So grab your flying power up to sort of fly around this area. And we want to get 5 more now. Hit any of the balloons that you see as well for gems. There we go. And there's heaps of gems around this area, so just go around and clean those up. There we go, and that should be the level 100% finished. Alright, so he's back to the hub now. There we go, so that door will open up. Not going to use it quite yet, we're just going to glide around to the edge and drop down that waterfall area. This should get us an orb, and that's the whole hub world complete. And then we can actually go in to fight Ripto. So this is sort of the last boss of the game, but there's a little bit of post-game stuff that we'll do as well after. Okay, so into the Ripto fight. Basically, he's going to drop around a whole bunch of orbs which you can pick up and throw back at him. Like once you get enough of them, you'll get like a power up that you can use to attack him. So you just keep doing that for the first phase. There we go. You'll activate this, but it's again a similar thing, so we can just pick up the power up and then attack him. So keep going and doing that until he's finished. There we go. And then he goes into the air. So basically it's going to go and flame him from the air. And there we go. And that is Ripto defeated. So you're going to get a bit of a cutscene here and some credits and stuff, but we're not quite done yet. Alright, the credits will play out and we're back in Dragon Shores. So you can talk to this guy to open this area. This is sort of just a fun little post-game area with some mini games to do in it. So I'm going to play Pop the Balloons mini game and get all 25. And you'll notice that we're about to get 10 coins. So this balloon track is a little bit harder, but just take all the possible paths and you'll eventually be able to get them. There we go. So that's another coin, and then we can get a third one, doing a similar thing, just taking all the possible paths and getting the balloons. So it gives us 3 there. We can talk to this guy and go on this ride. And we get a coin for doing that. We talk to this guy and take out the ducks. Get a coin for that one. Similar thing here and here as well. So we should have 7 there. Talk to this one and we can shoot the baseball at the target and get a coin for that. Now, this one here, you basically need 100% the game to open this door. And what this power up will do is give us unlimited flame, like forever. Like a super flame power up. Now with 10 coins, we can unlock the movie theater there. And you can sort of go into the movie theater and check that out. What I'm going to do is go back here. I've got 100% in terms of like orbs and gems and everything. But we're going to go and make sure we can get all the skill points. And that'll unlock something called the epilogue. So if you're happy at this point, you've basically finished the walkthrough. If not, I'm just going to go through and get some more skill points. So there's one in this level here. We just have to raise the water level to get back out to the main area. Now I could have got these skill points when I was doing the levels originally, but I'm just going back and cleaning up any that I missed. So with the super flame, it makes it pretty easy to deal with these sharks and stuff because that's just unlimited power up. So swim out into this main area here. And basically what you got to do is go through and break all the seaweed. It's a bit of a weird skill point. There's seaweed in there as well. Cool. And that's skill point. You should get like a little confirmation ding sound when you do that. You can check your skill points from the pause menu as well. Alright, just going through here. I need a skill point in this level still. This is Idle Springs. You basically go through the level until you get into the higher up bit. So opening up all these doors. Alright, glide across to this bit, and the skill point is essentially to just land on that thing. So there we go, that's that skill point there. Just going to go through these doors now. And we're into the speedway here. And basically what this skill point is going to be is doing the speedway in a certain time limit. So depending how well you did when you first did the speedway, you may or may not have got that. But that was that skill point there. And remember, you can check all your skill points from the pause menu as well. Alright, back to Autumn. Just going through here. So in Fracture Hills. Yeah, we're going to be getting another skill point for essentially dealing with a lot of the trees. You can super flame all these enemies too, which is really helpful. Alright, so just go around, do a couple of laps of that thing, and you'll get a skill point once you've done enough laps of that. Alright, over into this level. So we basically just need to head bonk all the trees in this level by charging at them. So yeah, bonk pretty much every single one you come across. And make sure you don't miss any. There we go, that should be a skill point for that one. And we'll fly through to this level, the Speedway. This skill point will be yet another timed one, just making sure we get a really good time on it. So there we go. And dropping down into Gulp's area. So you actually get a skill point for going and attacking Ripto there. Just go into first person and shoot the flames at him. I think you may need that flame upgrade to get that skill point, so just be aware of that one. Over into the Tundra here, we're just going to swim through this area. And into this level. Again, this is another Speedway one, so we're just going to get a skill point for doing it quick enough under a time limit. And take out all the birds and we should get that. So we get a skill point there. And we can go into Dragon Shores there. So yeah, you can go into that movie theater if you want. And basically we've 100%ed it now. So your pause menu should say 100% for absolutely everything. And you also got all skill points there. So in case you're missing any, that's the full list there. And then if you press X, you get the epilogue, which is this cool little thing in the book for getting all the skill points. Skill points aren't really part of 100%ing the game, but if you want to sort of do everything you can, you might want to get those. If not, it's all the gems and all the orbs and talismans. That's going to be everything in this video. I hope you found it useful, and thanks so much for watching.